Hi everyone, it's Doug from Bjorn Territory, and in this episode I'm going to show you how you can build a gated entrance for your Dawnbringer Crusade. And this is a bit of a continuation from last week where I built the palisades and the watchtower. This will become all very modular, interchangeable with your scenery. Hope you like this one. It's a fun one, short one. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in a bit. So I'm working on my board for my gated entrance. It's going to be 6 inches by 2. What I'm going to start with is using a craft knife. I'm just going to carefully take off the edges, bevel them a little bit. So you don't have to do this, I just like the finished look of it. Once I've done one side, I then come in and do the other. Just make sure you don't hurt yourself. You could probably sand this away as well. It's quite a quick, easy method. Okay, so for the gated entrance, the gate's going to be 3 inches wide. It gives me 1.5 inches either side of the gate for wall, etc. So, got my square down rods. I've measured them 3 inches. Just going to trim them down so they fit. So the gate's going to be 3 inches wide but 3 inches tall as well as at its peak. And what I'm going to use is my cutting mat to help me. So there's the 3 inches. I'm going to put one support of the door about 1/2 inch up, and the second support of the door about 1 inch from the top. What I'm going to do now with my coffee stir sticks, I'm going to super glue them to the beams that are laid down now. So I'm going to put a little strip on each piece like that. And what I'm going to do is line up, now I know I've measured, I'm going to line up each piece in line with the bottom edge for the 3 inches mark. So, I've got a little bit of time to make adjustments, make sure it's straight. And come in with the next one and lay them all the way across to make my door. Keep on going. I'll keep the bottom edge in line. Make sure the beams don't move. Should be good. Right, there you go. I managed to glue all the planks of wood down for my gate. At the 1/2 inch mark up on one side and the other, I'm making the joints for like the door. Just add a bit more character to them. So a little bit of coffee stir sticks again, but equal, about 1 inch piece either side. What I do next is build little side bits of brick wall. So I'm making this brick wall a little bit thicker with a foam core card in the middle, and on the outside edges I'm using little cut-offs of XPS foam. I cut really thin little slivers like that. I glue them on the outside edge of the foam into a brick pattern. And they'll look a little bit like this, okay? Now what I'm gonna do, the reason why I've done it like this, 2 reasons really. It's a bit thicker. Secondly, the foam inside the foam core card allows me to slide in my palisade wall into my brick wall. There might be other methods, but this for me works quite nicely and quite quickly to build. And I'm all about it looking cool, but fairly easy to put together. So, what's next? What I do now, I take my newly formed bit of brick wall, hot glue gun, bead along the bottom, and this will stick the outside edge. Okay, so I've left my 3 inch gap where my gate will go. I stick the 1.5 width of brick wall that I've made with the XPS foam and foam core on either sides. Now, it's up to you if you want to make it a little bit jagged or flat, or however you want the bricks to be. Make it as interesting as you like. It's just to get a bit of strength to your wall. You can always easily, if you want to make adjustments like I am now, I'm going to trim away sections. You can score into it and slice away bits that you might not want as well. So it's always good. Do your fit, test it first, and then move on to the next bit. Okay. Okay, next bit, I'm just going to slide in my door and it will go in the groove of the foam core card, and it will sit pretty strong, it's not going to fall out. And I can then play around whether or not I want the gate there or not and take it out. Next, okay, continuing building the wall for the gates. I take my coffee stir stick. What I'm going to do is just cut the top edges off and turn them into a tapered point, like so. Oh, get in focus. Quite easy, trim it. What I now need to do, in the foam core card, I'll make a little incision to make it a bit easier. I have to go all the way through, but just a little bit. I'm working with my dodgy super glue, but you could use PVA if you've got a bit more time. And I'm going to insert my coffee stir stick Palisade all the way around. And I'll just carry that all the way along on the other side as well. To provide a bit more strength to the back of the fence, palisade, what I'm doing is putting a crossbeam bar carrying on along the back, and I'm putting it in line with the strength of the gate, just so it's aesthetically looks a bit more appealing. Super gluing it on. Again, it's up to you which glues, adhesives you use. You'll see the risks that super glue have. There you go. You can see how I've done it under my arm on the other side whilst I hold this in place. Alright, there you go. It's managed to dry now. Stuck in place. Got the brickwork, got the palisade, got the gate, supports in. Strong piece of terrain now. And quite lightweight. Now to make it match the rest of it, a bit of painting and getting it going. So next phase, Mod Podge and black acrylic, coat it, seal it. I'm going to do a bit of wire brushing on the wood in a second, just to give it a bit more texture, a bit of a woody effect on it. And then I'll leave that to dry overnight. So in with my Mod Podge, black acrylic, coating the entire thing. Makes it stronger, durable. It's a good base coat for when I'm painting everything else. Slap it on. I also go over the door. As last time with the palisade wall, if you've seen that video, it's up to you. You might want to keep the natural wood look instead of painting it. I'm just matching the theme for what I'm going for. Next bit, I come in with some brown paint and I'm focusing on all the wooden parts, getting a nice even coat. Depending on how brown you want it, just make sure you get a couple of coats in, nice and even. Once you've got your first layer on, then think about your brush strokes, making sure they're all even, all in the same direction. This coats it easier. So I'm going to do all the fence, but I'm also going to do the barn door in the same colour. Whilst the brown's drying, you can save some time by moving on with your next colour. And I'm coming in with my rocks for grey, a fairly dark grey. Get it all how I want it to be. So it's up to you how you want your bricks to be, what colour, etc. But I've mixed my own grey using black and white, but you could use any tone of grey you fancy. Okay, just coming in now with a wash on the wood. I use a brown wash. Last bit of painting is a quick dry brush a little bit of white. And up some of the wood textures on the doors and the fence. Then a little bit of a dry brush on the bricks with the white, makes it pop a bit more. Almost done. Now it's for some PVA glue for the base. Slap it on, cover the whole bottom. You have a little bit, depends where you want your flock to go. You have a little bit in stone, a bit like moss. For my basing, I'm using Geek Gaming Scenics base ready stuff, and this is the patchy planes, and that will match my Metalith. So I put it in my box, and I'll give it a bit of a sprinkle. So I'm having the excess just to make it seal properly. I'm going to use a matte sealant from Geek Gaming Scenics as well. And this will make sure that right, there you go, there's my gated wall. It's a nice modular piece that will go alongside the other parts that I have for this Dawnbringer Crusade. Nice thing about this build, I enjoyed making it. It was quite quick to build, but also detachable gate. Play different scenarios with my games, with your games as well. You can think of different missions, maybe objectives. Could be breaking into the settlement or something like that, or raiding. Who knows? Your imagination's kind of free to go with that one. Scale-wise, this is an Annihilator. Big enough to hold back something quite brutish. But yeah, even then, it keeps it flexible, keeps it a nice modular piece of terrain that you can use with lots of different pieces in your historical wargaming through to your Age of Sigmar stuff. All right, hope you like that one. I enjoyed building it. I hope you picked up some tips and tricks along the way. And yeah, please like and subscribe if you like what I'm doing, and I will look forward to catching you later. Take care, speak to you soon.